Hey, welcome to episode 2 of the Bushcraft Diva. I'm Jen. I'm glad you're joining me today. So today we're going to go over the 5 C's of survival, and we're going to go, ladies, through our first S, which is sack. I asked you to start researching what kind of carrying device you might want to have to put your 5 C's in. So we're going to get to that after we go over these 5 C's. Now, this is just going to be a quick overview of the 5 C's, and we're going to get into much more depth in each one of them in further episodes. This right here is kind of called a flat lay. Yes, flat lay. There's all kinds of innuendo in bushcraft. But it's basically where we will turn out our carrying devices and pull everything out and see what gear we have, make sure that we have everything, and then repack our bags. So the 5 C's is a concept that was birthed by Dave Canterbury, who is the godfather of bushcraft as far as I'm concerned. And the first C that he came up with, and is the most important thing that you can have, is a cutting tool, mostly knives. Now this is a beautiful knife that I made at a Pathfinder gathering with Dave Canterbury, and it is a beautiful knife. I had so much fun making it. I learned so much making it, but it's really big and clunky in my hand. So I moved down to the Bushcraft Black. This is a Moore knife. It'll run you about $50, and I like the way it contours. The grip is very comfortable with my hand. My hands are smaller, so I started out with Moore knives. That's kind of what I knew, and I just kept trying different knives until I got the handle that I was most comfortable using. I call this guy Chub. He's my favorite. I love using this guy in the garden. He's great for carving. The most important thing, though, is to always keep some kind of cutting device with you at all times, not just when you're going out. My husband was really big into Leatherman's multi-tools. Those are way too big for my hands. But Leatherman came out with the Juice. It's much smaller. They come in different colors with different tools on them, and they fit my hands perfectly. I meant to show you on my little Chub here, it's got a ferro rod attached to it. That brings us to our second C, which is a combustion device. You are going to need to make fire. That is one of the most important things you're going to have out there. You're going to need to stay warm, and you're going to need to be able to see. So here, we can always ignite fire right there. You can also keep a lighter with you, or even strike anywhere matches in a waterproof container. From there, we're going to move on to cover. Cover is extremely important to have. You never know if you are going to get lost, or temperatures are going to drop. Something is going to happen. You are going to want to be able to maintain body heat. You may have to lay something down if you're going to eat, or if you're tired or something like that. It could be wet and you want something dry. Keep the cover with you. This is a Swagman rule. This was by my husband's. Got that out of his sack. This is an emergency blanket, and even in here I have one of those cute little tinfoil emergency blankets, which I actually have used before. From there, we're going to move on to our 4th C, which is cordage. Bank line will do you well anytime. I prefer paracord, and you are going to want 6-foot cuts of paracord. Now this is where my husband comes in really handy, because he's 6 feet tall, so his arm span is 6 feet. So I just, have him, and I cut it. There's a bow line tied to the end of that. That's very important. Dave Canterbury says that you want to carry about 10 of these. That might be a little much for you if you're just getting started in this, but we'll get more into that in another episode. Let's move on to our last C, which is container. This is an Nalgene bottle. It's 32 ounces. This is a stainless steel bottle, Pathfinder. This is from Self-Reliance Outfitters, which is Dave Canterbury's store. You're also going to want to check out his YouTube page, which is Pathfinder School. These are both 32 ounces. We'll talk about why 32 ounces is important, but staying hydrated is absolutely essential if you're going to be in the outdoors. If you want to get fancy schmancy, you've got a Grail bottle. This sucker is a water filtration system. You can just scoop water right out of a river. It will filter the impurities out, and you can drink it. So now that we've gone over our 5 C's, now let's talk about, ladies, our sack. So we know how knives and everything that we've talked about, it has its own function. our purses and our bags have their own function. We've got our big bag for when we're like going to the beach or a big shopping trip or whatever. We have, oh my gosh, this is the cutest thing. I used this on vacation when we went to Mexico because it's just fun and ridiculous, and I just needed something small. We've got our everyday purse. We've got our getting dressed up and looking fancy handbag. We've got our crossbody hobo bag. This is my kind of roughing it canvas bag. They all serve their own purpose. Some of them are stylish, some of them are functional, some of them are just ridiculously cute. And I kind of, you know, girls sometimes are really into that thing. Maybe you're not. It doesn't matter. What matters is you are going to pick the carrying device that works best for you. It's your style, it's your functionality, it's what works best for you. You can have just a regular, plain old backpack. This is my daughter's. This has all of her Taekwondo stuff in it. This is another pack that we got for her for Christmas. It's actually a backpack. It's got some Molly on the front, and attached to the front is a day pack that can be removed, so she can expand and carry, you know, a nice weekend's worth of stuff within both these bags, or she can just carry a day bag or a backpack. You know, I've also got my little go bag that I keep ready in the car at all times. And I showed you the other day, this is my Haversack. This was made by Malcolm and the Hidden Woodsman. It fits everything perfectly inside, Velcros. Oh, this is more cordage. Definitely pick some of these up. This is a cheat. It's a little bracelet, it's got cordage on it, and it's got a little whistle. So I always clip those to all of my bags. So now that we've got our sacks and our first S, we're going to move on to our second S in our next episode. These are your five C's. If you have any questions or comments, please drop it in the comments below on this channel, or you can go to the Bushcraft Diva Facebook group. You can also follow me at Bushcraft Diva on Instagram. And I just wanted to thank you for joining me today. Be boss, be beautiful, be bushcraft.